So two of the major components on qualification is going to be your debt to income ratio and the amount of reserves outside of the transaction you're going to need to have.
Got it. So
So
DTI, what do we like to see?
if your DTI is between 43 and 40%, we would like to see 15% of your line of credit in reserves.
So you're okay. So if I have a DTI between 40 and 43% after getting the all-in-one, you
As
want
part of being approved to get the all in one.
okay. Got it. Okay. Understood.
So that would be between those two numbers is 15% in reserve. So let's just simple math $500,000 value, $400,000 line of credit. You would need 15% of the $400,000 line of credit, regardless of what you owe on the home, as
Got it.
long as you're below 400,000. So you would need $60,000 in checking, savings, stocks, bonds, 401k, some sort of liquid asset that you have access to.
Oh, so you consider a 401k to be liquid because you could borrow from it, right?
Yes. Now there are some nuances with some
I would
401ks that
assume. Yeah.
if you've taken a loan against it, you can't take a second loan. I can't use those as reserves. And that's
Got
kind of come up quite often. But that reserve requirement decreases when your debt to income ratio goes below 40%. It actually only decreases to 10 total percent. So it does
it.
have a massive change when your debt to income ratio is more attractive.
Got it. So we
And
can
it's at,
say between 10 to 15% in reserves
exactly.
based on the line of credit amount
And your debt to income.
and your DTI.
Yes.
Got it. All right. What
Yeah.
else?
That is one of the major components. Kind of one of the other ones that a lot of people don't really, that it's not a requirement to qualify, but we're not going to let someone come into this product because they meet all that criteria. We also need to make sure that that individual is showing that they can save money, which we like to see them save 15 or more, depending on your interest rate you're being offered or the interest rate you're already in, every single month. That's kind of why we like to see the reserves. Hey, can you show us that you've been able to save money? Yes, great. Now we understand that this product is going to be a valid product for you.
Got it.
But just as much as people want to get into this product, we're simultaneously saying, okay, this product isn't probably the best product for you right now. It may be, but here's some certain things that you're going to need to do. And we'll guide them and we'll direct them down the path to say,
Yeah.
it's not for you right now, but here's how you can get into it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
I think
times,
that's very healthy. Yeah.
there's a lot of times that people say, oh, I have all this debt. I need to pay it off before I get into the all in one. Well, what's your scenario? Could we pay it off as part of the process? Do it all at once and let's see what that looks like. And we'll run the numbers for them as well.
Okay. Very cool. So not just what's on paper, but we're also looking at the character and behavior of the person, of the individual applying.
Not the character by any means, but
Okay.
more so along the
Their
lines of,
behavior.
yeah, I mean, do they
How,
understand the product? Are
yeah.
these the kind of people, like, there's people out there that the second they have an extra dollar in their account, that dollar is being spent on something. Probably not the right product for you. I'd never want you to get into this
Yeah.
product because that's why the qualifications are so specific on this loan,
Yeah.
is because we only want the people that are going to be overly qualified for this product.
Mhm. Which again, going back to the credibility and reputation of this particular company, it's not like you're writing this to subpar lenders. You know,
Correct.
like we're looking for qualified folks who have solid income, solid savings, solid reserves. You have a behavior of saving money according to the amount of reserves you've been able to build up 10 to 15% based off of the line of credit amount. So if you're trying to get you got $1 million home, that person requires a bigger savings, right?
Yeah.
In reserves, as opposed to someone just getting a $400,000 all in one, right? Is there a range, minimum and max, on the amount of an all in one loan?
Honestly, the answer is no, there isn't. I mean, there are plenty of times where I've talked to people that they own a home that's in the middle of nowhere in a state that you didn't even realize was still a state, or a city that you didn't even realize was actually a city in the country, and
Uh-huh.
it's $100,000 property and it works for that person's scenario. And again, we run the math. Perfect. Move forward with it. Now, obviously, as you start to get into that higher end range, 700, 750, a million purchase price, loan amount, individual, you likely see that they have the additional savings. You likely see that they have the requisites to be able to qualify or exceed and excel with this program.
Got it. Is there any incentive for having a all-in-one loan in terms of the margin, or if there's a discount at all provided for someone that has a million, 1.5 million or higher dollar home, or is everyone kind of equal in that?
I mean, at the end of the day, there is no actually, it's all based off of these loan level pricing adjustments. What's your loan to value? What's your credit score?
Got it.
What's your loan amount? There's all these different spreadsheets and charts. Okay, this is where you're at. Here's the cost associated with it. For the most part, the more you're lending, typically the more expensive it ends up getting, because there's quote unquote more risk involved with that. But that's where, again, we have a conversation with the individual.
Yeah.
And that's kind of all it is on what it takes to qualify. Everything else now is just going to be, what are the costs associated with this product? If everything's good with understanding the product, great. Then now let's talk about, what does it cost to get into this product?
Okay. So there was one more thing I think we
Yeah,
forgot as it relates to the terms, and this is common in the space we're talking about with HELOCs or all-in-ones or first lien HELOCs, is the interest only period, right?
great.
What is the draw period on the all-in-one loan product?
You're right. My apologies for that. So you actually have access to drawing funds throughout the life of the loan.
Got it.
But the way that it works is different in 10 years, when you're 10 years into the loan. So
All right.
again, let's just say that this person has a $500,000 mortgage, or sorry, $500,000 valued home, and they are at 80% loan to value. They're at a $400,000 line of credit. They have access to the difference between $400,000 and what they owe whatever point of time that they're in. In the 11th year, after 10 years, their line of credit decreases by a fraction of 1/240th. And the reason why we got to that number is, for the first 10 years, or the first 120 months, you have access to the full line of credit. For the remaining 20 years, it's a 30-year product, you have access to a slight and gradual decrease in your available line of credit over the 240 months that are left. So if
Got
I
it.
take 400,000 or whatever my line of credit is, and I divide it by 240, that is how much my line of credit will decrease from $400,000 on a monthly basis, which in this instance would be about $1,660.
Got it. Okay.
So instead of
Percentage
having
wise,
access to,
is there a
sorry, go ahead.
percentage to that? Is that like a point something percent per month that it's decreasing by? Is there a way to
It's no, just take your line of credit and
and just
divide by
divide by 240?
240, and that's
Ah,
what it'll slowly decrease over the
got
rest
it.
of the 240 months
So I could say after 10 years, line of credit reduces.
by 1/240th. Yeah.
Okay. That is very, very helpful. And can the individual simply restart the all-in-one?
Yeah,
Like
they
renew
certainly
it
could.
after 10 years?
The
Like, you know
likely,
what? I want to, maybe
yeah, they
increase my
100%.
line of credit 10 years from now. My property doubled in value, let's say, right? And they want to unlock that new equity to maybe go do some work with it. So the first 5 to 7 years, they paid off all their debt. So now they're debt free. I have a client right now. They had the all-in-one loan product. I think they acquired it back in 2022 or 2021. It's completely paid off. It's at zero. And in fact, it's like a couple thousand owed on it, but it's basically zeroed out. And so their property, I'm sure, has increased over the years. They're still in that first 10-year phase, but when they get to 10 years and their property doubles, you're saying we could go ahead and just renew that for them. Is
Yeah, I
that
mean, it would be the full blown refinance process. There are some hurdles when the property is free and clear, But if they're going to be going, hey, we're going to refinance, we're going to buy a new property, we're going to maybe buy a new vehicle, great, let's just do that, keep it
Yes.
small. All of the costs associated with the all-in-one are going to be based off of what you're withdrawing at close, not what your line of credit is going to be.
Got it.
So
Okay.
if you have $1 million home and you owe 100 grand, all your fees are based off 100 grand. So your cost of your interest rate is based off 100 grand. Your line of credit is all going to be left for you to have access to once the loan closes.
Okay. That ends up reducing the cost, because if my cost is based off a
100%.
$1 million line of credit, it's almost not worth it. If someone's like, oh, I don't know if I should even, let me just stick with my 10-year and let it, decrease over time if I'm not even planning on using more
Yes.
than 500K. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's again case by case. Okay, so that's all the terms. These are the main points of how to qualify.